told me that you had formerly been homeless and God had been part of what helped you get out of that cycle. Can
Exactly,
you tell me about
and
that?
being incarcerated. I just grew up in a household, of drugs and alcohol. Lost my mother and my father both at a real early age. My mother to a drug overdose. My father spent the first 10 years of my life in prison. So it's just a cycle. And that's what happened to me. I wound up becoming addicted to cocaine, crack cocaine at one point in my life, selling drugs to support my habit, wound up in prison, spent 8 years in the federal prison, spent my last 3.5 years here at the Federal Medical Center at Carswell. When I released in 99, this is where I relocated, and this is where I've been since. Because I knew that I needed something to do something different with my life than what I had always done.
Yeah. So did you find God while you were in prison?
I did. I didn't grow up knowing about God. I didn't grow up having a relationship with God, shall I say.
Mm-hmm.
You know of God,
Yeah.
but we never went to church as a family. That wasn't something that was like a factor in the household. So yes, when I went away to prison is where I got saved. Is where I decided to try Christ's way instead of my way, because my way didn't work for so long.
Do you remember any specific day or moment that you had a revelation or an epiphany?
Not really, but I remember the day that my roommate bought me a Bible. I never had a Bible in my entire life. I was 36 years old at the time. And she had her aunt send me a Bible from New Jersey when we were incarcerated. And that was the first time in my life that I had ever really had a Bible of my own. And I started reading it. And sometimes, it got a little boring with the Old Testament. And people encouraged me to read the New Testament. And I kind of got into it. And then when you started understanding what Christ went through, and who I was in him, that I was forgiven. It didn't matter where I came from or what I had done. That Jesus paid it all. And all I had to do was just lay it on the altar for him and turn my life around. And that's what gave me hope, even being incarcerated. And that's why I stand here today.
That's incredible.
It is. That's because God's incredible.
Yeah.
I used to work for First Presbyterian Church doing the same thing.
First Pres. I used to go to Fort Worth Pres.
Uh-huh.
And every single time I said I went to Fort Worth Pres, people would be like, oh, First Pres. And I'm like, no, Fort Worth Pres.
Yeah, I worked for First Presbyterian Church for almost 5 years in the same ministry, but I was only there part-time. And we connected together, Broadway and First Presbyterian Church, worked together to do the outside Tarrant Area Food Bank mobile pantry. So every third Wednesday of the month, I would come over here and work. This is the clothing room. You're now in the Baptist Center. The Baptist Center has a food pantry, an adult clothing room, a children's clothing room. We give out sack lunches 3 days a week to homeless people and people that are day laborers. Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday are sack lunches. Monday is children clothing. As you see on the floor, we give brand new school uniforms to children. Everything is funded by the church. Most of the clothing in here is from donations, except for the new school uniforms. And the church purchases brand new underwear and socks.
This is so much better than I could have imagined.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, dude. Pretty amazing. This is our donation sorting room. As you see, the same with the adults. We buy brand new underwear and socks as well for our adults that need them. We have linens when they need them. This over here is the adult clothing room. You have men on one side and women on the other. And they get to come in and they have a certain amount of items that they're allowed to get for themselves every other month. And they get to come in and just like being in a department store and pick out their own clothing. Each clothing thing that's put together for someone also gets a hygiene kit. Hygiene kits have like deodorant, soap, lotion, toothbrush, razor, and things like that for them to use as well. These are also passed out to the homeless population that need them on a regular basis. That's a project.
Things too.
Yeah, and
I can't think of anything.
that's a project as well for people, but this is the center area. This is where they come in. My office is right there. This is my main job here, 5 days a week. Being that I'm part of the Broadway Baptist Center, I get to coordinate as well, not only the volunteers that volunteer here, but I also get to coordinate the volunteers that are downstairs at Agape. So anybody that's interested in volunteering, they would contact me, Dawn Shepherd, at dshepard@broadwaybc.com. I'm sorry, broadwaybc.org. They would contact me through email or phone number here at the church, which you can find on the website at broadwaybaptist.org. And that's how we get a lot of volunteers to come in. And word of mouth. People hear, like you're doing. You want to be able to get word out to see what's going on here, and it gets people excited, and especially when you really first come out.
I'm going to put it on my Instagram.
Yeah, and then you're like blown away by everything. It's just like, wow, this is like so amazing.
So I discovered Agape through the Key Club at my school.
At your school.
What is it about, like, how do you get the information out to Key Clubs and other sorts
Word
of
of mouth,
organizations like
word
that?
of mouth, putting it out on. I actually, most of the Key Clubs that were connected before I got here. A lot of the Agape volunteers were connected before I got here, like the Sasso women, a lot of the TCU groups. Clarence was one Key Club person that I connected with because he heard about it. And usually that's what happens. People hear about it, a word of mouth, and they call me, and I give them I email them a little booklet about what Agape is, what happens, and what they need to do to volunteer. And then they come on out. Tell a friend. And then this in here is our food pantry. Now, food pantry is open 5 days a week. Pantry in the neighborhood that has an afternoon pantry on Wednesdays from 3 to 5 for people that can't get out in the mornings to come. Everyone shops by their household size. As you see, this says a family of 6, and it tells you the food items and the quantity that you can get. And it has everything from fresh vegetables to frozen meat, cereals, juices, canned goods, rice, beans. Pretty much everything that you would go into a store and buy. As you see, there's fresh veggies always. All of this is funded by the church through the Tarrant Area Food Bank. All pantries purchase their food from the Tarrant Area Food Bank at a really discounted price. So, and then you see the freezer. You have just like, it's basically like almost like a grocery store. That you have some awesome items to choose from. Cool. Glad I was able to show you this. You know, right out this door.
Yes, I'm definitely glad. So, okay, so the first question is, what does agape mean, and where does it fit into your faith in God and that part of the service?
Well, agape means love. That's the Greek word, I believe, for love. And that's what this is all about, loving our neighbors as ourselves. You know, Jesus speaks about that in the Bible. You know, when caring for them, and when people are hungry, we feed them. You know, I've been fortunate to be a part of this ministry for a year and a half as the coordinator over the Agape meal and the center upstairs. So this was kind of brand new to me, you know, and just to see this in the capacity of what happens here every Thursday night just blows me away. You know, and this is a ministry that I was informed that has been happening in Broadway over 25 years.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's been long running, and it's to continue to see this is just beyond a blessing. Came from Nazi. You know, being at Jim Knox used to be at the Rangers Live. Remember the Texas Rangers, the post-game show used to roam the ballpark? Oh, yeah. And then at the end of every game, I was that girl, dude. Come on, you don't know? Oh, stop it. Wes, no way. I was that girl for like 4 years. This is how I became a Super Ranger fan, known as the Super Ranger fan. Because that's what I did every game, home game I was at. Noxie would always come to me and let me start out. And just over the years, I just got way more comfortable with it. And I would just, yeah. Let's go Rangers! And he would just always let me start, and at the end of every game that I was there, he would come back. This was when we took over first place from Houston. Houston, you really have a problem. Let's go Rangers! Yeah, so that's where I get my comfortability from in front of the camera. Just got some good training with Jim Knox and being down there at Rangers Live. That's I kind of miss it because he's gone now. We don't have that at the ballpark no more. Yeah. Yeah, this is my job, Wes. This is what pays the bills.
Well, it's a cool job.
Yeah, it is. One of the best jobs ever.